And back with you as we've got the track cleaned up. A phenomenal job by our track cleanup crew and all of our support people here at Evergreen Speedway. Home Track Heroes with you. We are 5 laps into our season championship. And as we go on board with Ted Lindgren, to kind of give you an idea of what's going on, we see a lot what's going on inside the car with Ted right now. But with action earlier in the day in heat races, coming into the day, the 88, who's we're inside with right now, Ted Lindgren, was leading points at 265 with Mike Marthaler and Hubbard both tied at 264. So after the heat race, Lindgren crashed, right?
Yeah.
And at the start of this race, Mike Marthaler came into the start of the main event at 272. Mark Hubbard came in at 271, and Ted Lindgren went back, or moved up one, but still with 266. So coming in, Mike Marthaler by one slim point is your point leader.
Which shows the importance of the entire day. You have to qualify, run your heat races, and you have to get every point you can. When you come in and there's only 1 point difference, you come out of the heat race, there's 1 point difference, but your point leader coming into the night is now running in third spot for the year. So Lindgren has an uphill battle if he wants to be the champion this year.
He sure does. And as we're working lap number 9, Mike Marthaler and Jake Grant are working the top of the field right there. You see Hubbard in the 41 making his way through. Dave Lund right behind Marthaler trying to pick up the lead. And it looks like he's going to do it coming out of turn number 4. But, boy, I tell you think you've won something by picking up the lead. And you take a look, and you've got that silver Camaro behind you with a number 28 on it that has just been a monster all season long. It doesn't get any easier for Mike Marthaler looking for his first championship.
No, and in the third spot, you got Jake Miles of Smiles Grant. He's running last year's championship car that was owned by Davey Lund. So those first 3 cars are darn good race cars. We're now inside with Jake Grant.
Jake Grant is obviously a ton of protection all around him, and Tom has been so cool about pointing out all the stuff that these guys, you would think they pay attention to, the gauges and all of that, but boy, there's just such laser focus as he's still trying to hang on as they get underneath the 17 car there, and you can see them putting that machine a lap down. But boy, Dave Lund and Mike Marthaler just coming into turn number 3 and out of number 4 here on lap number 13, and Mike's got to hang on, got to do the best racing of his life right now.
Right. You know, and you were talking about the gauges and everything else. It is amazing how much your senses are involved in motorsports, because you feel that thing getting hot. You feel things going wrong. You may get a little whiff, a little smell of something, the rear end's leaking or the motor's leaking, and you then start looking for gauges, because a lot of times I think you could tape the gauges over and the driver would come in and say, oh, it was perfect.
Yep.
Well, pressure, temp, no, well. Then you take the tape off or you show them. But, you do sense so much of what's going on. And, yes, these guys, most of them do have spotters, but you also know that there's a car on your outside, there's a car on your inside.
Yeah, you know
when to make that move. It's unbelievable how much it bombards your senses.
Dave Lund trying to figure out a way to get around that Camaro, the number 44 of Mike Marthaler. He's going to take a look up on the outside here as they're working lap number 17. Marthaler hugging it close down onto the white line, and see the car wash up a little bit. Had to kind of squeeze the 28 of Lund out, but Dave did a nice job getting it reeled back in. But top 2 pulling away, but boy, what a battle for the lead coming up.
Well, you're right, and then we've got Hubbard back in the 5th spot. He needs to do a little something if he's going to try and get that championship. And Lindgren, who's not had a good day, as you mentioned, crashing in his heat race, is now back in 7th. So if they want to take a run at Marthaler's under a lot of pressure from Lund, but he can probably afford to give that spot up. He's not going to, but Hubbard and Lindgren got to get their stuff up to the front if they want any chance of being the champion.
That they do. Hubbard trying to work his way around the number 5 of Travis Blackwood. Jake Grant having, I think, his best run of the season, still hanging out in that 3rd spot. But check this out. Left side by side, the 44 of Marthaler down on the inside, the 28 hybrid Camaro of Dave Lund, an absolute stunning machine. Dave had about a coat of paint of difference as they came across the scoring loop that time. That's why they show him in the lead. And just coming out of turn number 4, new leader now with Dave Lund, Mike Marthaler close behind him in second. And as you can see, Marthaler now with a 3-point lead over Hubbard, and Lindgren back there at 3:06. So that graphic will kind of keep things a little bit interesting as we're at the halfway point. 40 laps make up the distance for our Northwest Motorsports street stocks.
Great battle, though, for many laps are between Lund and Marthaler. Done the right way.
That was cool.
You know, not banging each other, not trying to shove each other, not trying to do anything but outrace each other, and that's good to see.
It really was. It was so clean, and it was very impressively done. Dave Lund now pulling out away from Mike Marthaler. And look at Mark Hubbard now as he's gotten around Jake Grant, put him up into the 3rd spot. So the points change almost lap by lap here as we get closer to the finish.
Steve, did you happen to notice that right front rotor on Marthaler's car? He's been using those brakes a lot. It was glowing red. That means that there's a lot of front brake. He's been using them, abusing them. And what can happen then is it starts boiling the fluid. Brakes become an issue. That pedal gets to be a little mushy, and then it doesn't stop like you want it to. You're going to have to back up your entrance into the corner and let it roll a little bit more, but that right front rotor was glowing red.
Dave Lund still leading the race here on lap number 25, 15 to go to make up the distance. Marthaler with a slim 1-point lead over Mark Hubbard, with Ted Lindgren in the 13 points back. As you can see, Lindgren pretty much is in the 7th spot ahead of Sheridan Vincent. Doug Poyer still in this one, along with Nick Beecher and Cale Cheth, who started on the pole. So going to get pretty interesting here.
And we mentioned 2 weeks ago that it was going to be a long 2 weeks for these guys. And I promise you that Marthaler, Hubbard, and Lindgren all know every scenario, and they knew exactly where they were after the heat races and what they have to do during the main event. And I'm going to guess that Marthaler's constant comment is, okay, where's Hubbard? How far behind is he? Where's Lindgren? What's he doing? They're keeping track of that, as well as trying to drive those race cars.
You know, that's always been an interesting question. If you are in the position that Marthaler is in right now with a slim 1-point lead, do you want to be told that? Or do you want to just have, if you're the spotter, do you just want to have your guy concentrate on just doing the best he possibly can? Because if he's got all this information he's being bombarded with, is that going to
Well, I think as a spotter, you want your driver to know what he needs to do when he gets to a lap car, when he gets into traffic. Does he have the opportunity to take an extra look before he goes by that car to make sure that car's going straight before it passes him? So if I was spotting for Marthaler right now, I'd be telling him, you just need to stay where you are. You are 8 car lengths in front of Hubbard, 6 car lengths, whatever the situation be. You stay there. You are our champion. You want to clean it up, but you want to tell them exactly what he needs to do. And he needs to know that if Hubbard gets there, he's got to go.
Yeah.
And if he wants that championship, that car's got to get wide, it's got to get long, and you got to drive the crap out of it. And like I said, Marthaler right now may be running out of brakes.
It's interesting to see how you take a look at the lap times as they go by. As we got a caution, number 30 machine has Jeff Miller has spun. There he is right down there at the bottom of turn number 4. So we'll bring him back up here for a few seconds. But, man, that's a lot of information to bombard on a guy trying to, and especially now, all of a sudden, may think his brakes may be going.
Well, and you can save a lot of that. You got to know your driver. You got to know when you want to talk to them and what you want to say to them. Some drivers want to hear lots of information. Some don't. Some only want to hear it when they're going straight ahead. Don't want to talk to him in the corner. One of the things right now, hopefully, Marthaler's had a chance maybe to cool those brakes down a little bit. That may help him. However, now Hubbard is on the inside, right on the rear bumper of Davey Lund, our leaders. So it's Marthaler's in a little bit of a bad situation right now on the outside with his major competitor inside row 2.
It's going to get interesting. We got 10 laps to go. Speedway Chevrolet has brought us that gorgeous yellow Chevrolet Camaro pace car all season long. First time we've had to see it tonight. So good deal. Okay, here we go. Dave Lund in the lead with Hubbard down on the inside. Mike Marthaler up, tucks back in behind. So look at this.
Well, that
looks like we're tied.
Exactly what I was talking about was the fact that Hubbard started on the inside, the preferred line, and Marthaler didn't get a great jump or didn't feel like he could drive it way down in the corner. And Hubbard's now moved into the number 2 spot and is tied for the championship.
All right, let's go on board with Mike Marthaler in that number 44 Camaro, staring at the back end of his competitor, the 41 of Hubbard. Dave Lund just pulling away. Look at that. Good move down on the inside by Marthaler. They'll go side by side. Car all over the track. Marthaler really having to work that steering wheel back and forth as they come out of turn number 2 and down the backstretch. It looks like he's got them cleared as they go down in turn 1. They had come out of turn number 4 way up high. Car got really loose. The 41, and that really helped out Marthaler. Look what it's done. Put him back up front.
You could see him really sawing on the wheel. Marthaler, his head bouncing all over inside that race car. It's not a real comfortable ride right now. He is driving the wheels off that thing. He knows. His spotter has told him, okay, when you're third, that's not the place you want to be. They probably even know the tiebreaker. I don't know what it is right now, but it goes back to wins, the number of wins.
Yeah.
And so Marthaler knew that he had to get that spot. He can finish second. He'll be the championship. He knows that. Or the champion, excuse me. He knows that. But by the way, Hubbard also knows.
Yeah,
he's got to get to him.
He's getting information too, as the laps are winding down for the 2020 season for the Northwest Motorsports Street Stocks here at Evergreen Speedway. 4 laps to go. You can see Ted Lindgren there, currently in the 3rd spot in the points battle, as he's working to get around the 24 car, is it? Or the 25 of Doug Poyer. And we'll take it back up front. Dave Lund still leading this one, clicking off some pretty impressive lap times, as all our top 3 are. Mike Marthaler still with that slim 1-point lead over Mark Hubbard in the 3rd spot. Ted Lindgren still hanging in there in the points battle at 3:02. Good shot of Lindgren working his way
Lindgren
around
just
track.
wished he'd have stayed home today.
Yeah.
Comes in as the points leader, has a bad heat race in this race car, and they've worked to get it back together as good as they could. It's not up to his standards in the main event, and his championship hopes are fading very quickly.
All right, Hubbard has really picked up some real estate towards the back bumper cover of the number 44 Camaro. Hubbard just driving that thing like crazy. White flag, here we go. This could decide it right here, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Marthaler will take it out at turn number 2. Hubbard down the backstretch in that 3rd spot on the track. And here we go. Oh, and Hubbard gets into the back of the 44. No way. As Hubbard will take up the high side. And just to add insult to injury, he gets smacked there, I believe, by the 44 car of Sheridan Vincent. But what checkered flag comes out. Congratulations, Dave Lund, for the win. Look at the points up above with that. It's showing currently, and here we come. Oh, and Hubbard just gets dumped by the 5 of Travis Blackwood, as Hubbard looked like he was trying to take that access road. So here's a replay. You guys make up your own mind here what happened. Here comes Hubbard diving deep into turn 3, or turn 2. Turn 3. Got me so wiped up, I'm
you know, Steve,
confused.
Marthaler didn't drive that car in really deep. Those brakes may have been gone at that particular point, but I got to tell you, Hubbard's responsibility, he saw him closing, got into him, and finished him off. So now it's in NASCAR's hands.
Wow. So here's what happened. Hubbard got black flagged for that. Travis Blackwood got disqualified for his after the race incident. And with all of that transpiring, our champion for 2020, believe it or not, Ted Lindgren. So congratulations, Ted.
Well, that's a decision, and the NASCAR officials normally do a very, very good job, and they have to do what they need to do here because Hubbard obviously closed and got to him. Blackwood afterwards, no room for that. Lindgren wins the championship, but man, he wins it the hard way.
Let's go to Brandy.
Your street stocks tonight in 3rd place. Cale Chinth, congratulations on 3rd place, ending the season. Who do you want to thank tonight?
I got to thank my grandpa, my mom, and my dad, and my girlfriend, Cassie, and my grandma, all my sponsors, Gino Campanelli, First Day Electric, Erkers Construction. There's a bunch more, but I'm forgetting. But I'm just really excited about tonight because my cousin just passed away last night, and it really means a lot to get on podium tonight.
All right, Cale Chinth in 3rd place tonight. Street stocks in 2nd place tonight. Doug Poyer, that was a wild race right there. How do you feel about coming home in 2nd place tonight?
It was awesome. Started in the back and just worked my way to the front. It was a lot of fun. Passed a lot of cars.
And anybody you want to thank tonight?
I want to thank Bruce Pendergrass for letting me drive his car, Dave Lund, Sam Boyce, Dwayne Shosbeck, Cheyenne Scale Company, and my wife, my daughter, the whole team is awesome.
Doug Poirier in second place tonight. Street stocks tonight in first place. Congratulations, David Lund. How was that race tonight under the lights?
Oh, that was a blast. Racing Mikey for the lead, and I feel bad for Mikey losing that thing. He's tried real hard, but congratulations to Ted, 88 car, for winning the championship, and my buddy Doug for finishing second. My crew chief finished second tonight.
Anybody else you want to thank for your win tonight?
Doug Poirier, Bruce Pendergrass, Cheyenne, Casey White, Denise, Mom, Sherry, Dwayne Shosbeck. Yep.
All right, Dave Lund finishes the season in first place. Your 2020 points championship for street stocks. Congratulations, Ted Lindgren. How did you put that season together?
This was about as interesting a year as COVID's been for the 88 team. Hold on real quick. Woo! That's one of the things we do once in a while when we're up here. Ups, downs, sideways, downs. It's been crazy. It's been crazy. Tonight we had some issue. I don't know if I can say karma is a bitch on TV, but we'll see if that goes through. They put me they put me out in a heat race, and so I had no chance unless some weird things happened in that main. And who knows? Things pay off for a reason. But it's sad that it went down like that. Very, very sad it went down like that. Much better, I think, if it could have been clean. We'll take it. The 88 team has worked our tails off, and it's been a remarkable year. Jimmy, Adam, my buddies, crew, it's been great.
Any other special thank yous?
Oh, absolutely. My sponsors, of course. American Image, my company, AIHair.com. We do hair restoration. It's affordable in Linwood. Check us out. Don Sass, he's my AMSOIL sponsor. That thing's had AMSOIL from front to back, front to rear. Everything in that car is AMSOIL, and it's quick. We had 2 flat tires tonight, 2 in that main. That's why we drifted back so far. So I finished that thing on a flat rear tire with no off. But it's been a great year. Paula, my wife, all my kids are here. My whole family, of course, with masks on. But we'll have a little celebration tonight.
All right, Ted Lindgren, your 2020 champion for points in the street stocks. Congratulations, champ.